The average commuter in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana spends about 49 minutes per workday in the car. That equals about 4.1 hours per week, or 205 hours per year. But most BNI members are not just average commuters. Many of us are in sales, service, networking, and relationship-based businesses. The average outside salesperson spends about 21 hours per week behind the wheel. That equals about 1,050 hours per year. A college bachelor's degree is 120 credit hours. When you break that down into classroom instruction time, it equals about 1,800 classroom hours. So if you are in outside sales and you spend about 21 hours per week in your vehicle, you're sitting in about 1,050 hours of potential learning time every year. At that pace, you would reach a classroom instruction equivalent of a college degree in about 1.7 years.
Hi, this is Ryan Reed with BNI Advantage Podcast. All right, so I'm driving to Florida right now. I'm going to be in a car for approximately 8 hours. This is where you could turn your car into your university on wheels. When you listen to podcasts or when you're driving and you're anywhere for 8 hours, think about how that trip could be to your advantage, really, when it comes to growing mentally and even in the world of business, how you can get so much out. For today's time, when you have Audible and you have Ivan Meister's now on 955 podcasts that you can download and listen to while you're driving, those podcasts have so much information to learn, not just about BNI, but networking, life, how to influence friends and make friends and influence people, and how to give, how to work as a team. It's an endless scope of work that you could be working on while you're driving. Taking that time from listening to the radio, news, or whatever you typically listen to, actually listen to something that's like Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Then act on it. Write down some notes. Dictate to your phone. See if you can teach something. Communicate to someone on your team, someone in your company, someone that may mean something to you. Just when you realize how important time is. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, obviously. But what are you doing with it? Are you just blowing bubbles? Meaning you're just chewing gum mentally all day long, or are you improving? I've always found it very interesting. When people say, hey, be a 1%. If you learn 1% a day, 365 days, now in essence, you're 365 better. But, that sounds great. But, what if you could really, if that was far fetched, what if you could really be 100% better this time next year? Because every time you got your university on wheels, your vehicle, you were learning and you were getting better. When you start thinking about people that drive 2 or 3 hours every day because that's what they commute, you could get a college degree inside of your vehicle, which is really the whole essence of why Zig Ziglar is, when I think, coined the phrase "the university on wheels." You can really get a college degree in 2 years at half the time when you're spending that much time in your vehicle. So make that time good value. When I take long trips, at the end of the trip, I feel like so mentally stimulated that I want to take another trip. I want to drive. I don't mind going on trips by myself. Just look at things from different perspectives, from different people, getting to hear their points. The time that we spend in their car can be so valuable, and just tap into it. See what it's all about. Are you getting better or are you staying the same? And this may be one of Zig Ziglar's statements, which if I quote Zig Ziglar a lot, it's because I listen to him a lot. And he once said, our brain is like a bucket of water, and the bucket has holes in it. And if you're not constantly putting more water in, filling it, you're losing. We forget so many things. And if you'll think about things that you were good at when you were young, maybe even subjects like geology or algebra, could you do a algebra equation right this second like you did when you were in high school? I'm not sure I could even do so. I'd have to have someone to cheat off their test anyways sitting beside me. So there's no one in my car, so I would probably fail that algebra test for sure, or that question. The point is, I once did. And since I haven't used it so many years, I've forgotten. So if you think of that, if we're not constantly relearning things that we have even known very well, but we're not using it, we're losing it. Our brain really is a muscle. And if you're not exercising that muscle on a daily basis, you're getting lazy in your brain. If you think of your brain as a muscle, and if you're exercising it every day, whether you're trying to learn a new language, I would highly recommend Duolingo. I've been studying Spanish now for 1,250 days. The point would be is you're making your mind work. Our brains are naturally lazy, create habits. So therefore, it's just a system. Then your brain can think on autopilot again. And if we realize those things and say, oh, well, I'm going to keep my brain working, I'm going to keep on exercising it, you're going to get to the point where you feel like you're learning at a higher rate than most people. And that would make sense when you start to say being a one percenter. So, because if you truly were learning something every day and getting better, as you are also forgetting things, keep in mind. And so at the end of the year, instead of saying, well, yeah, I'll be 365% better, I do believe you could be 100% better. But that's all up to a daily workout routine for your brain. Are you getting up early in the morning and feeding your brain some type of exercise? So, you know, I have an alarm clock to go to bed. It's at 9 o'clock. My notifications go off. I get a beep, and it's time for me to go to bed. I don't have an alarm clock to get up because my brain wakes me up. It says, I'm ready to learn. And I've done it so much, I truly believe my brain says, hey, I'm ready for exercise. I'm ready for that positive feeling that I get once I do it. So what happens is I wake up around 4:30, usually at the latest 5 o'clock, and I get up, drink 16 ounces of water as I'm making coffee, and then I go straight to where our television is and put on YouTube and put in something that I want to work on, like Dan Martell, who is a business coach. When he starts his podcast, he says, hey, here are 6 ways to be successful. Let's dive in. And bam, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that's first thing in the morning. And it really inspires you to try new things. When you start to learn more about AI, you start to learn more about marriage counseling, how to work with people, how to negotiate. Go to YouTube and ask for highlights of Think and Grow Rich. And it'll then give you like the 13 points of Think and Grow Rich in 20-minute video. You know, the amount of information we have, and it's so easy to get to, is just so important. But are we making the right choices? And when you get up early in the morning and you start learning, just think of it this way: get your CU, get one right off the bat. Try doing one a day. And this is one of the mindsets of BNI. You're supposed to do one a week. Well, if you look at that as a minimum, not a maximum, and say, well, I want to do one a day, try that and do it first thing in the morning, right off the bat. It only takes 15 minutes. Just look for something that you could listen to for 15 minutes. Technically, one full CE is an hour, but if you did 4 of them, the point is learn something every morning quickly and start getting yourself in a habit. Then when you get in your car, it's up naturally. And then now you're listening while you're driving. comical. I'm not suggesting that you do podcasts while you're driving. It's like, hey, you know, what a better way to get more out of what you're doing than recording or even talking to yourself. You can learn so much. So think about this. You listen to something and then you record yourself teaching yourself. Go back and listen to it. The student is the greater teacher. When you learn and then you teach back, you're now a student on two sides of it. That's where really where you retain it the most. Going deep into these lessons that you can live, like listening to Brian Tracy's 21 Steps to Be a Self-Made Millionaire, and listen to one and then say, oh, I'm going to ask myself what I think about his first point, which is think big. It's like, all right, well, what is thinking big? Well, it's obviously these big dreams, these big goals. And what does that mean to you? And so now you're having these inner conversations with yourself. That's really making you think and making you grow. And it's fun. You know, you can joke, you can laugh to yourself. It's such a better place than driving and listening to, uh, music. I like music and I like a lot of classic rock and roll. I grew up being a Led Zeppelin fan. But saying that, that's just like bubblegum. You could be listening to a very boring book and fall asleep. I'm with you on that. But try recording yourself. Try just talking to yourself. See how that works for you. One of my main points by doing BNI Advantage podcast is to help you think different about Power One as your maximum. You should really be saying, this is a minimum what I could be doing to get better. If just one a week is going to get me results, then why not seven? When it comes to CUs, we've got to always stay green and growing, looking for ways to improve ourselves. And really, next year, you should be 100% better. Probably need to focus on the interstate. So I will see you on the next BNI Advantage podcast. But I'm back in the studio working on ways to help you get more ROI out of BNI. I'm Ryan Reed. Thank you.